put on a bias binding strip for quilting. Um, I just uploaded a video um, with information. I just uploaded a video providing information on putting, like how to cut out the binding strip and all that. Trying to get it to where I can see the chat. Okay, it's over here. Okay. I want to see it. Yeah, we're about to put on this binder strip. So I've already cut out the strip. I've just done a video telling you all how to fold the fabric. How to fold the fabric to cut out the binder strip. 1 second, I'm trying to give people time to come in. Yeah, we're about to put on a bias binding strip for when you're cutting, when you're putting the bias strip on the curved quilt pieces. So what you're looking at is my apple core patchwork placemat. I'm about to put the bias binding strip on. 1 second. So what I did was just cut a 2.5 inch strip and and I sewed a 1/4 inch line, so I'm gonna sew on this line once I put it on. 1 second, I'm trying to bring up the chat in my phone. And we'll give time for more people to come in. So far I've cut out the strip. This pin right here is where my join is going to take place. Um, 1 second, let me turn the volume down. Let me put the volume down on this other phone. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give more people time to come in, because this is going to be some helpful information. So if you ever end up working with curved quilt pieces, you'll know how to put on the binding strip. So y'all just be patient. Okay. All right, we got some action. Okay. Hi everybody. So let's get started. So I just did a video showing you all how to put out, you know, provide information on the bias, cutting, you know, cutting bias strips and all that. So this is the bias strip, and you end up with this diagonal line. But what I do is take my ruler and cut that straight, because you don't want to have this diagonal line. You just want to sew two straight lines together. When you sew your bias strip, you're going to end up with this angle, because you are working with bias strips. But you take that and cut that straight, so then you end up sewing two straight lines together. So if you, I don't want you all to be sewing like this diagonal line. Cut it straight, so you just end up sewing two straight lines together with the right sides together, and cause it's already gonna stretch to go around the curve, cause you cut on the bias. So this diagonal line is not important. It's important to have it cut on the bias, so you can have it stretch to go around the curves. So yeah, and this is another piece. So then, yeah, just cut that line straight down. You can use this point right here for a reference. Just go straight across. So when you cut it, you cutting two straight lines together. So what I did was take, so you can see how I have my little strip. I have my little strip, right? I was going to take a pencil and mark that 1/4 inch line so I have a guide to sew across. But what I did was just fold. See, that's the fold right there. So you sew on the end opposite from the fold, because you're going to fold it over. Okay, so I just went straight across, had my 1/4 inch on 1/4 inch foot on my sewing machine, and I just sewed all the way down. So you can see how I sewed all the way down. Make sure y'all subscribe now. Cause y'all ain't getting this nowhere. These other folks' videos ain't but 15 minutes long, and you know, this finna be start to finish putting on the binding strip. So it's probably finna be a 2-hour video, hopefully less, but I'm finna put it on, do the join, sew the back. All they finna get done in this video right here. So make sure you all like, subscribe, and all that. So see this, I've sewn my strip. Oh, I gotta cut my little, see I have my little starter scrap. So I have to cut that off. Okay. Make sure y'all like this video and all that. Y'all know what these folks like y'all to do. Okay, so this is my join. This is the pin where my join is going to take place. So I'm going to start a little ways away from it. So let's start maybe right here. Oh, and first I'm going to mark take my ruler and put my pin at 1/4 inch, because that's where you stop and do the little pivot off the edge. So make my little point. What to do with this? Just mark that point right there, so you'll know where to stop for the 1/4 inch, because you gotta stop there and pivot off the side. Mark that point so I know where to stop, and then you go off diagonally, sew off. So you'll see. Okay. Alright, so let's get started. Get our strip. Okay, so we're gonna put your little Yeah, let's pin some. So we're gonna pin it. Hi, thanks for stopping by. So let's just pin. See, it's gonna curve because it's got this stretch. So we're gonna pin, then we're gonna sew. Okay, you gotta make sure you're on the edge. And then this do pin. It's gonna pin all the way to our right before our stopping point. And it's gonna hug these curves because this strip was cut on the bias. So that allows it to curve around with no problem, which is what you want because you're working with the curve. Okay, so then we're gonna keep pinning. We're doing a bias strip, putting on the bias binding. We're doing bias binding for quilting. So this is a bias strip, and we're binding our quilt. So we're gonna make that my last pin. Okay. And then I'm gonna get our thread, and we're gonna start to make sure I'm a quarter inch in front of this needle. I did that kind of close. I normally give myself more room. Okay, we got plenty. Okay. Alright, so let's sew. So we'll put on our strip. And sew it on. This needle is big, huh? I just want to have more than one needle threaded to make it go as fast as possible. So on our strip. sew on our strip. So in this video, you're gonna learn how to put on the bias binding strip for the quilting, curved quilt pieces, and you're gonna know how to do the join, and you're gonna know how to put the binding on the back. And even if you do all this by machine, it's still the same technique. But I'm just doing this by hand, you know. It's probably better, you know, because I ain't trying to, just want to say, don't you go nowhere. I ain't trying to, and this needle is too big, so the next needle would be a smaller one, because I got 3, and I also got some more smaller needles, a whole pack of them right here beside me. So you don't want your needle too big doing this, but the pack I had came with different sizes. Now the one I really like some kind of way, it got away from me, so. But yeah, when you do this, try to have a small diameter needle, because this is kind of a fat round needle, and you know what I'm saying, it's, you don't want to be too hard on your hand. So you just, what I'm doing is just sewing straight across that 1/4 inch line that I already sewn. So that way I have a guide to sew across all the way around. That part I ain't got to worry about. So I'm just sewing on my strip. And you're gonna stop at this pin right here. That's where I mark my 1/4 inch away from the edge, because that's when you're gonna pivot off and then maneuver to fold your fabric over. Yeah, we're putting our bias strip on, bias binding strip on this curved quilt piece. So just kind of, you might have to bring it down some so that it actually it actually, so then I'm gonna go, let's see, I should have made that pen come in front too, up to this fabric so I can see when I'm actually going through. So then I'm going to show you how you. So now I'm at my 1/4 inch. So I wanna kind of see that edge. I wanna see that edge because you gotta go diagonal. Make like a diagonal line. Cause you wanna be, that's when you're gonna start to pivot off. So that's your pivot right there. So then you go, and I would really go little stitch right there, because you want to catch, you want to hold on. You want to make sure you fold it kind of, so you make sure you're going in that angle, because that's important for the miter. And make sure you're going through all the layers for this fold. And this is important. So you make sure, see on how I'm coming to make sure I'm diagonal. See how it looks on the back. Just kind of make you make sure. I ain't coming straight through. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now I can cut this thread. And then you do that. So you do that, because this is, see, and you see how it's a diagonal line. Then you gonna fold that over. Then you're gonna try to, pin it so that you can start going this direction. And I still gotta go back down to I'm gonna put a few pins in, and then I'm gonna go down and mark my 1/4 inch on the bottom edge. for stopping by. And just keep pinning. And then keep pinning. And see how it's going around the curve with no problem, because this strip was cut on the bias, so it stretches and all that, and it'll go around the curves with no problem. Okay, I gotta maneuver over there and go on over there and keep pinning. Go on and mark this edge right quick. Put this pin in. I have to mark my 1/4 inch from the edge. Where we got that? I wanted to oh no. Don't worry about that. Okay. And we'll just keep pinning. And we know we're gonna stop at that pin I just put in, because that's our 1/4 inch away from the end. Okay. Yep. Okay, so now we will, now we're going to start up here and work our way down. And we'll work our way down. And still try to make sure, you know, that you're on the edge. Let's see if I'm, alright, I'll just work my way down. Sure. Okay, so you see how it's gonna fold over, and you can see the miter corner, and then that's why you want it big enough so you'll have, you know, enough room to fold over to make the miter corner. So you see that's gonna work. So we got that much done, and yeah, all right. Sometimes you have to pull it down, make sure you're on the edge, so make sure you do that. Just just slow it. And you just sew it. And use a small needle, small rounded needle, small diameter needle to do this, because the other needle was too fat around. So, because you want to be able to glide in and out of the stitching. You don't want to be pushing too hard, because then you're going to tear your fingers out. just still join. Just make sure the needle is not too big around. I have a thimble, but I don't feel like I've needed to put it on just quite yet. So far, I feel okay. I don't feel like I'm trying too hard. Sure that your strip is on the edge of the curve, so you need to make sure of that. Now time for me to start another piece of thread. Just get ready for this one to run out and start another one. I'm gonna put a Peter right in the same. Let's see how fat around this. That one's too fat around too. Then I got some. It's okay. I'm gonna thread this needle again. I like this one. Yeah, we're gonna thread this one again. We like this one. So if you see one you like, then that's the one you stay with. Because these other ones are too fat around. And that's just too much pressure on your little fingers. So you have to make sure you got one that's not too fat round. Another strip. You have to do y'all. I wonder if y'all know how to do the quilter's knot. If you don't know, you can learn now. Cause I'm finna show you. So you just lay the thread on top, roll it around a couple times, then pull it through. And then there's your quilter's knot. And I just cut that extra off. I don't want that. Then we go back to work. Somewhere up in here. Maybe right there. We'll keep going. It's somewhere right in here. See, I got my little stitch line. That's where you know. Just sewing across this line. And just keep on going. And I'm going to start right there where you see that yellow pin. Is where I stop to pivot off. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I'm right at it. See. Oh, Close enough. Yeah. This is close enough as far as I'm concerned. And then I need to just kind of hold your line, your ruler diagonal to the end line and make that diagonal so you'll know that's where you start to. So see, I move that strip around and kind of go diagonally off. So I want to go diagonally off the side. And if you end up with a little ruffle or something, that's okay, because it's got to fold over, so it's going to do a little ruffle. Let's go diagonally off the side. Make sure it's nice and secure too. Stop it right. I'm gonna cut this thread and fold it over so we can go down the next side. Making my quilter's knot so I can go down the next side. And then we'll turn it around and fold it up like that. You see the little, how it's going diagonal? Diagonal to that fold. And you fold over your little finger. And try to put it. So you just fold fold it and line it up with the edge. I have to do some of the maneuvering and then just pin it. And then you start sewing at the top of at the edge up there. Okay, and we'll just continue to pin down the side all the way around until we get down to the end, and we'll mark our 1/4 inch line from the end. And like I said, whether or not you're sewing this strip on by machine or by hand, it's still the same rule. But it's probably like, So, yeah, the rules don't change. It's just either you're sewing it on by hand or you're sewing it on by machine. But it's still the rule. But I started off 22 years ago by hand, so, and then it was, somebody gave me a machine. It was just an easy adjustment. That's why I can go from hand to machine, machine to hand. Either way, I know what I'm doing, because I learned both ways. And that's good to know both ways, because sometimes you just want the, just calm quilting experience where you're doing it by hand. And sometimes when you're in a hurry, then you do it by machine, or you do it because that's the way you want to do it. But yeah, I'm just showing you all how to put on a bias binding strip for quilting. And even if it's other things you sew, you'll know how to do the binding strip, how to cut it, fold your fabric down to a 45-degree angle and press on that fold and then cut on that fold, that line that was formed by the fold. And you just keep on going. Keep it going, keep it going. Okay, now I'm ready to mark my 1/4 inch point from this edge down here before I get too caught up in pinning. Alright, we got our line, got our point. Alright, start on that back pinning. Ooh. All right. Juice. Just still pinning away. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my video. All right, let's go back to sewing. That's the one. Ooh. 1, 2. Where is my other? I think that's the one that was too doggone thick. I still have mine. Let's see. I think that's it. This one. This one. This might be it. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. These ones, they too doggone thick. And it ain't even, there's some thread in here I can use. Okay, so then when you go, so we folded it up. So then make sure it fold lines up with the edge. And then you start pinning. Start sewing the line at the very top of the stitch. Ooh, see, this is where I might want to use my thermocut, trying to give me a hard time. I got my little thimble over here too, see, trying to give me a hard time. I'm gonna make sure I get that edge. Right at the very edge. And stuff. And once I get past this little area, I'll show you how it'll fold over like it's supposed to. Let's work our way down some. Then you'll be able to see how it folds over. Go down a little way. Sure it's on that edge. Ooh, let's see. Make sure that the fabric is on that edge. There we go. Do a little more sewing, and then I'm going to show you how it folds down on the edge. See, I got that dimmer. So just a little way down, and yeah. Okay, now I can show y'all how it folds over at the end down there. See, this is our fold, how it looks, and then it just, sometimes I do a little tugging. And see, that's your miter corner. So you start the binding strip on the front and fold it over to the back, but there's your miter corner. Then when you get back here, you kind of do that and fold it over like that. Move it up. So, and then once I get it on, then I take my little, once I get this strip on the joint on, then I take my little binding clips like this and fold it over. But see, that's how it looks on the back. But we have to keep going. So yeah, just take take that back like I was and pick up where I was just keep on sewing on your strip. And see, that's an easy thing to do too. If you're doing it by hand, you have a machine, but you're gonna sew it on by hand. You can just take your binding strip and sew the opposite end. This the folded end right here. So you take your, just run a straight stitch, put your 1/4 inch foot on, and do a straight stitch all the way down the, well, I would say the raw edge before you put this banding strip on. So when you go to sew it on by hand, you have a little guide for your 1/4 inch seam line. So I thought that was pretty smart. I came up with that. I started to do it by pencil, but I was like, no, because then you serving a good purpose, because that line is kind of like make it more secure, that stitch line versus just a pencil line. So you have a little secure stitch. I'm doing another piece of thread. Thank you all for stopping by. Make sure you like this video, subscribe. I'm doing another piece of thread so I can start back stitching. And again, we're doing bias binding for quilting. We're putting on our bias strip for our curved quilt pieces. These blocks that you're looking at are called apple core quilt blocks. So this is basically an apple core placemat, patchwork placemat. So we're putting on our strip, our bias strip. And I just did a video on showing you information on doing bias strips, how to fold down your fabric and all that. So anytime you're putting bias strip on a curved quilt piece, whether it's any kind of small quilt item or even a big quilt, in order to go around those curves, you can't just cut the strips the regular way. You have to cut bias strips, and that's when you fold your fabric down at a 45-degree angle and cut diagonal strips. So the size strips I cut for this was 2.5 inch strips, but here you see that they're folding over. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're putting on our bias strip. Now this video is, I guess I'm gonna have to do a part 2, cause I was off work today, so technically you can't be doing YouTube videos on your off day. So what you have to do is clock out before your clock in time And then you can come back to YouTube after you clock out for work. So, yeah. Because, you know, folks would be like, you know, she was doing YouTube videos while she supposed to be at work. Y'all know how folks be trying to tell. So, you know, folks be hating on you. So, I can't do this video but up until a few more minutes. Then I'll probably come back tomorrow morning, probably about 5 or 6 in the morning Central Time, and finish it. So I'm not gonna, once I stop, I'm not gonna do any more until I come back tomorrow morning, because I really want to do the whole thing like as a live video, so you will know how to completely do or put a binding strip on a curved quilt piece. So once I finish what I'm doing today, I'll probably come back in the morning about 5 or 6 in the morning and do it again. And see, in the morning is my off day, so I can finish it. I don't have to worry about nobody. You know, she was on YouTube doing her quilting while she was supposed to be clocked in doing business out. See, that's what you call double dipping. So don't ever have a job and your clock in time, you on YouTube doing videos, because they can fire you for double dipping. So, like I said, I'm only gonna be on here a few more minutes, and then I'll see you all back here in the morning about 5 or 6 o'clock. And even if you not up for the live, you can catch the replay. So this right here is gonna become part 1, and then tomorrow morning will be part 2, so that you will know, and then you all can, you know, this was kind of quite a bit for you. Then you all can get a break. Yeah, but and then at least you all watching, you all would know by the time you watch part 1 and part 2, you know how to put the binding strip on. You know how to do the curved, put the binding strip on, do the join, and fold it over and do the back. So all this, so the rest of it's gonna have to be finished tomorrow morning. Cause yeah, I don't need nobody trying to tell something. Cause folks be watching, and you tell them you on YouTube, you best believe they watching. You do a YouTube video while you on the clock, you're gonna get fired. That's double dipping. You can't be on off work and on YouTube doing videos. No, that's how you get fired. This called double dipping. So y'all learn about double dipping. That ain't got nothing to do with no video, no YouTube, but technically it does. So they won't say I'm on here doing quilting while I'm supposed to be clocked in, because I'm definitely off work today. So I definitely ain't going. And yeah. See, I'm supposed to be crazy, but I play crazy. But I bet you ain't crazy enough to let 8 o'clock come and I'm still on this live. I bet this live finna end for 8 o'clock. So they won't be telling nothing on me. I got a whole bunch of sense. But you know how life, y'all know how life goes. So when y'all get ready to do y'all videos, y'all got a job. Do not be on YouTube doing no videos. Why? You supposed to be clocked in. Even if you off that day, them people paying you, you can't be on here doing it. Y'all have to pay. Don't pay me no man. I'm just old fashioned. And I don't want y'all to lose y'all main job that one provides you with insurance and your 401k and your retirement. You don't want to mess that up for YouTube now. You need both of them. You can be on YouTube, but keep that job that give you them benefits too. please do that. Because you gonna get to a point one day where you ain't gonna still want to be clocking in and out for nobody. And that is fastly approaching for me. I'm almost to my retirement. And I can really be on here doing, y'all think I'm doing something, baby. When I retire, I'm really gonna be on YouTube doing my quilting thing. Y'all better ask somebody about me. But I would definitely be back tomorrow morning. 5 Central Time, 6 Central Time, somewhere in there. I got about 7 more minutes, but y'all make sure I'm off this live for 8 o'clock. They won't be telling nothing on me. Folks love to tell. Folks be hating, love to tell. Don't give them nothing to tell. Cover your, you know what you're supposed to cover. Especially these folks. Because I already know, baby, I'm going to be a YouTube sensation. I know my time coming. So, yeah. Tomorrow, I'll make sure I have some more of these needles threaded. So we can really move something, make something move. And do it, make it move. See, now where that crooked line is, where my little sewing veered off, I kind of have to still just try to go straight across. So that curve line ain't what I need to be following it on. Because that's where my little stitching went off for some reason. And I know just to try to go straight and meet this line over here. So that's what we gonna do. So I gotta try to eyeball it because that crooked line part, that ain't no 1/4 inch because I have veered off. So now I gotta try to catch that 1/4 inch line on the other side as best as I can. And I appreciate you all for stopping by and watching my video and being subscribed to my channel. And I will be back tomorrow morning at either 5 a.m. Central Time or 6 a.m. Central Time. But I will be back because I'm determined. This Halloween, I'm trying to have some show off. I still got to put in some more work before I can have anything to show off. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. Sometimes you run behind schedule, but as long as you get there, that's all that matters. Just make sure you get there. Yeah. I'm about to wrap this little video up. And I'll see you back here in the morning. And we gonna finish it all the way. We gonna finish putting this banding strip on all the way around. We gonna do our join. We gonna put the banding strip on the back. And we'll end up with a finished product. Something I can show off and be proud of. Because I did this. See, now I'm at this seam. You know how you have a seam in your strip. But I made it past it, so that's good. But yeah, we're sewing our bias binding strip on for our quilt project for my patchwork placement. I'm so thankful for all my subscribers. Thankful to everyone watching my videos and all of that. But yeah, we done did this. And we got us something to be proud of. I've been doing quilting for 20 years. I ain't just started. So don't think I learned this overnight. And I've been doing quilting. Before YouTube even came into existence, I was already into quilting. And then people was like, you should go on YouTube. You should do YouTube. So I finally started doing YouTube. And again, this is how it's gonna fold over. And you see the little miter corner. And sometimes I have to tug it in order for it to fold over and do right on the back. And see, this show how your binding strip gonna fold over. We can go, we did enough where you can kind of get an idea since y'all done hung in here with me. So once we get it all on, this is when you come and this your, so you could do this, do it this way. You would fold it over. Ooh, I know you ain't finna try to not fold over. Don't play with me. You don't need but a little bit, and ain't. You just need just enough to cover that raw edge, and just fold it over. Don't even stress about it. Just as long as you got enough to fold over, and go see how it's going around the curve. And see what I do is get my binding clip. I done had these along 20 years. See, I ain't got to worry about these inflation price because I already got all of what I need. So what I do is just try to go and fold it over, try to make your fold for your miter corner. And then that's when you would do that. But all that will take place tomorrow because you got to finish this, putting this strip on first before you can even do all that. But I was just trying to give y'all a little idea since y'all hung in here with me. I sure appreciate you hanging in here. But yeah, and see, this is where this point right here is where our joint is going to take place. So I would take my ruler and put that 1/4 inch line on that pin and mark that line. Then you're going to, when it comes around, you're going to come up this side. You're going around, you're going to come back up here, and then you're going to take the other strip and lay it down and cut 1/4 inch past that joint spot. So I mark my joint with the pin, and then I lay it down and, with the ruler like I just showed you all. But yeah, so we got some done. We got some of that side done, some of this side done. So we maybe a little over halfway done with our strip. So we'll meet you. We gonna meet tomorrow morning at 5 or 6 o'clock, depending on what time I get up. So we definitely got enough strip to finish it. So that's good. I'm glad I kept going with sewing the binding strip, so I make sure I got enough. But y'all see how I just fold over? See, you did that bias strip, so it's gonna curve around it, go around that curve, and up and down that curve like it's supposed to. And it's only doing it because you use the bias strip. That ensures that you will be able to go around your curves because it kind of has a little stretch to it. And like I said, let me show y'all what I was talking about for your bias strips. I got a few more minutes, and then we're gonna meet back here tomorrow morning at 5 or 6 o'clock. So this is the bias strip. But like I was saying, see that let me know that's the wrong side of the fabric. So what I would do is cut this straight. cut that diagonal part out. You use that for a starter scrap. And I also go back and mark the wrong side of the fabric again. Okay, so then I come down to this end. See, that's the wrong side of the fabric. Right? And cut that straight too. I don't work with that little diagonal piece. And mark your wrong side again. Okay. Then I got this piece. Ooh, I'm gonna have to cut y'all off. This piece, cut this straight. Cut this side straight. So every piece is a straight piece. And then just go and put right sides together and sew your strip. So open this seam up and then sew across and fold in half, and that's how you end up with this. But I gotta go because like I said, I can't be on here at 8 o'clock. Make sure y'all come back in the morning, 5 or 6 CST, Central Standard Time. Thanks for watching. Check you later. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Check you later. This part 1. We'll be back for part 2 tomorrow. Thank you.